Hi there and welcome to me, Audrina Lane, reading aloud from my debut novel, Where Did Your Heart Go? And guess what? We're up to chapter 43 this week. So without me yabbering on again, let's get started. I was already buzzing around the kitchen when Charlotte walked through the door. "Morning, Mum," Charlie said as I passed her a mug of coffee. "Morning, Charlie. You were up late last night." "Yeah, I was on the phone to Mitch," she replied. "Are you okay, Mum? You seem really happy this morning." "I am, Charlotte. Life is good," I replied, not wanting to share my secret admirer with my daughter as I eagerly awaited his next request. "Usual for me today, college and dance practice, and then I thought I might go see Auntie Ra on the way home," Charlotte said. "OK, I'll mention that you might do that, as she's meeting me after my lunchtime show for a gossip." I drove into Hereford early so that I could prepare my show, but I felt a tiny bit disappointed that no song had come through for me yet. However, once I started my show and the text lines started to reel in, I saw the next one from my secret admirer, and after a quick search through the archives, I found the song. Well, listeners, it appears that my secret admirer is listening in again today, and this is his song, Secret Garden by T'Pow. Perhaps he's telling me that he's a gardener, or just enjoys spending time in the garden. As the song played, I pondered what I could play in return, and decided that my response would be very tongue-in-cheek. "Hope you enjoyed that, Mystery Man, but this is what I'm looking for. It's Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler. Can you be my hero?" I announced, and then sat back, keeping an eye on the text. Over in Warwickshire, James listened with a smile on his face. He couldn't believe she had no idea. Or perhaps she did with the hero response, but she was flirting well and enjoying it. He had chosen the song as it always reminded him of their night under the stars, between the apple trees. He spent a few moments wondering if he should respond, but then decided there was always tomorrow's song to have some fun with. He would have to get his thinking cap on for that. As the second song ended, he paused and listened once more as Stephanie moved on to her next request. Her voice still sounded the same. It tugged at his heart in memories of how she'd been when they were together. He was determined to get her back, regain her love and her trust so that his life might finally make sense. As my shift came to an end, I handed over to Ian, and after a few quick replies to corporate emails, I was out of the door and into the heat of the early afternoon. I had arranged to meet Sarah on the green by the cathedral, and as I scanned the crowd, I found her sat on a blanket, with a fine spread of a picnic and a cold bottle of crisp white and some lemonade. "Hey, Stephanie, great show," Sarah said, standing up and pulling her earphones out, stopping her radio app on the phone. "Hey, Sarah," I replied, pulling her in for a hug. "Good to see you, and what a wonderful surprise." "So, tell me more about Mystery Man," Sarah said, as we both sat down in the sun and tucked into some French bread and cheese. "Well, there's not much to tell, really. He first sent a request on Sunday morning, whilst Charlotte was away, and it was father figure. But I thought it was either Paul or Ian playing a joke on me, or even Jack from the hospital cheering me up." "Well, it seems to have worked," Sarah said. "You look radiant. Best I've seen you in a long time." The warmth of her strong friendship tinged her voice. "They have all denied it, so I really do have a secret admirer who is trying to communicate with me through song." I grinned and blushed at the thought. "So you have no idea who it could be then?" Sarah asked. "Nope, but it's good fun trying to figure it out. Like, for example, today's song was Secret Garden by T'Pow. Does it mean he likes gardening or visiting gardens? Or is a gardener? I really don't know, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow's song, as he seems to manage to send one every day. But not always directly to my show. He sometimes uses Ian or Paul." "Perhaps he works shifts," Sarah surmised. "Maybe. Just hope he's not a weirdo or stalker, just perhaps a genuine guy." "Would you meet him?" Sarah said, leaning forward slightly. "Maybe. I don't know if I'm ready for all that," I said, popping a succulent strawberry in my mouth. "Oh, for goodness sake, it's about time you got back out there. How long have you been single now?" Sarah asked as she poured us another glass of wine and lemonade. About 17 years, I replied, remembering the night I lost Mark. "Well, I think it's time you tried again," Sarah said, "and if your mystery man is awful, then I'm sure Chris has some seriously good-looking single friends we can introduce you to." She leaned over and gave me a hug, and we lay back and enjoyed the sunshine on our faces. Eventually I looked at my watch and realised I had to get home. "Did you come in your car?" I asked Sarah. "Lisa dropped me off as she was shopping, so if you can give me a lift back with you." "Sure. I think Charlotte wanted to call in on you on her way home from dance practice, so I better make sure you're there in time." "It'd be nice to see Charlie. How is she?" Sarah asked as we packed everything up and took the short walk to my car. "In love." "Oh, with that charming boy we met in Birmingham?" Sarah asked. "Yes, he's called Mitchell. They've sent in a separate dance as the organisers of the competition need a fill-in whilst they make their final decision on the Sunday afternoon. They've recreated the final dance from Dirty Dancing, and I have to admit it takes your breath away to watch them together." "We're really looking forward to see her dance and also a weekend in the capital," Sarah said. "Chris gets home tomorrow, so I can't wait to see him." I watched a faraway look cross her eyes, the anticipation of a loved one back in her arms, wishing I had that. Once I dropped Sarah off, I returned home and switched the stereo system on, plugged in my iPod, finding the mellow tunes of Savage Garden. I had discovered them in the mid-90s with a whole host of songs that didn't remind me of anything or anyone, just the emotions of being in love. Gathering up the ironing, I went upstairs with a pile of clothes for Charlotte's room, and after placing them on the end of the bed, I noticed my diary lying open on her pillow, and a pile of tissues on the floor. Picking it up, I glanced down at the page and realised she'd finished it, and therefore knew about my suicide attempt. Sitting down heavily on the bed, I turned back the pages and read again what I had written there in my childish script. Once again I was propelled back to that black moment. I still had times now when I had to reach for a tablet to stem the darkness that would creep over me. Certain songs or an unknown voice that sounded like James, maybe a woman with long dark hair even, was all it took for me to be right back to 1988. I now knew the reason why Charlie wanted to see Sarah, so I reached for my mobile phone and hesitated over the number to warn her. But as I looked at the time, I guessed my daughter was already there. Standing up, I bent down to pick up the tissues from the floor and saw the pink cover of my photo album. I pulled it out. It was open on the last page, the only picture I still had of James. I stared at the image in front of me, my hands trembling as I looked into my innocent, happy eyes and his beside me. How long ago that was, yet my heart started to beat faster and emotions threatened to engulf me like a tidal wave upon the rocks. I ran my hand over the surface of a protective covering as a single tear hit it and spread beneath my finger. My James, how could I ever forget him? He had been my whole world, the light in my darkness, the moon in the starry sky that I had spent so many nights gazing up at, the sun on my face when we were together, burning under the heat of each other's bodies. Quickly I shut the cover and pushed it back where I had found it, walking to the bathroom. In the mirror I looked at my face and saw a single tear balancing precariously on one of my eyelashes. I wiped it away. How could a photograph take me down in an instant? I reached for my tablets and took one to head off the darkness looming in my reflection. So, I hope you are still enjoying this read-through. Don't forget, if you want to buy an e-copy, they're available on Amazon for the princely sum of 99p or about $1.40. And then you can find chapter 43 and 44 and read on ahead and finish before I do. Otherwise, if you'd like a paperback copy, they're also available on Amazon, or you can contact me directly and I'm more than happy to sign you a copy and send it over to you. So anyway, that's it from me for now. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you all again for the next chapter next week. Bye for now.